When Ava and Mateo brought their newborn daughter home, it wasn't to a picture-perfect nursery. It was to a second-hand crib tucked into the corner of their small rental. Like many new parents, they were exhausted. But the hardest part wasn't the baby. It was everything else. Soaring grocery prices, Mateo's work hours cut, and Ava's quiet battle with postpartum anxiety. Ava's mother, Lita, moved in just before the baby arrived. Still grieving the recent loss of her husband and adjusting to life on a fixed income, she was struggling too. She wanted to support her daughter, but her concern often came out as criticism. And in a house that didn't feel like hers, Lita didn't know where she belonged. Then came Sophia, Mateo's teenage niece. She needed a safe place to land after home stopped feeling safe. Ava and Mateo didn't hesitate. They made room without question. But caring for a newborn and a teenager, that was overwhelming. Sophia was guarded and barely came out of her room. Mateo tried to stay strong, but the stress piled up. And Ava felt like a stranger in her own life. Everything familiar, now just out of reach. Their house was full, but everyone inside felt alone. One day, desperate to get out of the house, Ava wandered through a crowded farmer's market. Exhausted, unshowered, and then something simple happened. A smile from a woman at a small booth. She was with Carya, a local organization that hosts free drop-in groups for parents. She invited Ava to drop by sometime whenever she felt ready. That invitation changed everything. The drop-in group was beautifully imperfect. There were wobbly toddlers and toys everywhere, coffee in mismatched mugs, and mid-sentence tears. But no one flinched. No one judged. Ava felt seen, accepted. Then, when she joined Circle of Security, something shifted. She began trusting herself again, and for the first time in a long while, she made new friends. Lita noticed the change in her daughter. And when Ava suggested she tried an art group at Carya's Village Commons, Lita hesitated, but went. At first, she painted in silence, but brushstroke by brushstroke, over tea shared with strangers who became friends, she found her way back to herself. Not just as a grandmother or a widow, but as Lita, creative, healing, whole. She joined another group, this one focused on relationships with adult children, and began reconnecting with Ava, not just as a mother, but as a fellow woman finding her way. Sophia kept pulling away, until one night, Ava noticed faint scars on her arm. Mateo sat beside her and said gently, "You're not alone. Would you like to talk to someone at Carya?" She didn't say yes, but she didn't say no. With her counselor, there was no pressure, just presence. They sat, talked, painted nails in silence, and slowly, Sophia opened up. Watching her, Mateo realized he needed help too. Therapy, he thought, wasn't for people like him, but eventually, he admitted, "I'm not okay," and in saying it, he began to heal. Change came in small steps. Ava stayed in touch with her parenting group. Their weekly texts became a lifeline full of humor, empathy, and reminders that she wasn't alone. Mateo kept attending therapy. His shoulders softened, he laughed more freely, and listened more deeply. Lita went to Carya's annual tax clinic, where she learned she was entitled to additional benefits. She finally got her reading glasses repaired and bought herself new shoes, the kind that didn't pinch. In Sophia, she found her footing. She started working, volunteering, and saved enough to buy her first car. When she pulled into the driveway, Lita clapped, Ava cried, Mateo smiled wider than he had in months. The house is still modest, still loud, still messy, but now it's full of laughter, of trust, of love rooted deep, because they didn't grow apart under pressure. They grew together.